Hello and welcome back to the channel.
Today we're talking about global entry, pre-check, and clear.
If you've traveled through airports in the United States, you may have seen these special lanes at the airport where people seem to be cutting the regular line.
It's basically like the lightning lane or fast pass at Disney.
In this video, we'll discuss what they are, what are the major differences, and if they're worth it. Welcome to World Wanderers.
We're Alicia and Will.
Come wander the world with us.
Pre-check and clear are going to help you out when you're trying to get through airport security.
For pre-check, you're basically allowing the US to vet you in advance.
If they deem you're trustworthy based on your background and criminal history, you can go through a less intensive screening process at the airport.
This usually includes keeping your shoes on, your liquids, and your electronics inside your bag. It's just less of a hassle.
Big airports usually have a dedicated lane that allow you to skip the regular line and cut your wait time down significantly.
And then smaller airports may just hand you a card that allows you to operate by different rules while going through the regular line.
Clear is also a shortcut through airport security.
Whereas PreCheck is run by the government, Clear is run by a private company.
You're going to register your biometric data with them, and then when you get to the airport, you'll use their scanners to verify your identity with your fingerprints and iris scan.
You can have both PreCheck and Clear. They're complementary, and depending on which airport you're in, one line may be significantly shorter or faster.
Clear also has services outside of just airports. Some major sports complexes and music venues and things of that type use them. So this might save you time if you frequent a lot of live events.
Now, global entry is a shortcut to help you out at the end of your trip.
When you leave the country and travel outside of US borders, you have to go through a screening process to get back in.
This will occur at the first airport of entry into the country, even if it's not your final destination.
Let's say, for example, you live in Los Angeles but are coming home from Paris. If you have a flight connection in New York, you'll go through US Customs at your layover in New York and then travel the rest of the way to Los Angeles.
Global entry is going to be the fast track lane here. Similar to PreCheck, the US is going to do a background check and interview with you to decide in advance if you can enter the country more easily.
Our global entry interviews lasted less than 10 minutes, and they asked us basically the same questions we filled out on our forms.
Our addresses, where we've worked, where we were born, types of questions like that.
Then they processed our applications and they were ready for use within 24 hours.
Once you have global entry, you'll normally have your face scanned, have a customs officer glance at your passport, and then you'll be on your way to your next flight or to the baggage claim.
This can be especially helpful if you're trying to make a tight connection.
Now for pricing. TSA PreCheck by itself is $75 and is good for 5 years.
If you want to bundle it with global entry, you can get both for $100, and it includes the PreCheck.
This also lasts for 5 years, so if you plan to do any international travel, I definitely think this is the best value and absolutely worth it.
Clear costs $189 per year.
While I think this is nice to have, I think that the cost is pretty steep, and to me, it's not really worth it.
The exception here would be if you traveled weekly or frequently visit stadiums and other live events.
For me, PreCheck and global entry is worth it if you're going to travel by air at least twice a year. This has also paid for itself in the past for me when the TSA lines were so backed up that I would have missed my flights if I went through the normal line.
It can also be a good strategy to get it for one person in your family.
Right. When Will didn't have PreCheck and we saw the line to check a bag one time was over an hour long, I stayed to check our bag. I sent you through the regular TSA line, which was also long, and then met up with you after I went through the fast PreCheck line.
Another way to cover the cost of these three services is select credit cards.
Our favorite cards that include reimbursement for PreCheck, global entry, Clear, or both are the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, or the American Express Platinum, just to name a few.
If you're thinking of applying for one or want to check out the benefits, we'll leave a link in the description.
Do you have any of these services? If so, have you found them to be worth it? Or do you have an airport where Clear is definitely the winner? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for tuning in, and if you'd like more travel tips and info, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more.
Safe travels.